It was a great job of catching him because obviously one man was a little faster than the other, but he took the right angle and he sprinted and kept his poise.
68 yards for Darren Carrington from northern Arizona, his longest return in the NFL.
At this point, Darren looks like he's going to go all the way, but Lowry takes that angle. And Darren tied up just a little bit. Carrington tied up a little bit, trying to sprint that entire distance.
So John Elway presented with great field position to start. Denver beat Kansas City 34-20 in the first game at Mile High this year. The give is to Humphrey, the talented rookie from Alabama. He picks up a couple. Albert Lewis at the corner leading this defensive charge, and here are the blockers in front of Elway. Perry, Juriga, Karts, Wydell, the rookie from Boston College, the starter, and Ken Lanier, the veteran of right tackle. Elway has Jeff Alexander and Bobby Humphrey, two first-year men or rookies behind him, Mark Jackson and Vance Johnson, the wideouts, and Clarence Kay, the tight end. When they go to their passing offense and long yardage, Steve Sewell comes into the backfield. Michael Young and Ricky Natil make it a 4 wide receiver set. Catching his breath, the kickoff man, Carrington. Elway, misdirection, and it's Sewell. Inside the 20, and a first down. Tackled by Daron Cherry. Steve Sewell, who rarely carries the ball. That's only his 4th carry of the season. There's the defense in the red jerseyed Chiefs uniform. Smith, Moss, and Griffin. The front three, Martin, Ashley, Hackett, and the great rookie Derek Thomas of Alabama. When they go into their nickel packages, these men come in: Thomas, Smith, Moss, Saliamua, Cooper, Copeland, and Burris. And then the back four of Lewis, Ross, Porter, and Cherry. And it could be as good as any in the league. First down, Denver. Delay to Humphrey. Gets outside. And Daron Cherry knocks the ball away, but it goes out of bounds in Denver's possession at about the 11-yard line.
Both offensive lines have improved so much as the years progressed. They're both young offensive lines with a lot of talent, and thus far this Denver offensive line is executing beautifully. In 2 cases, they pull the guard, pull the tackle, and their blocking's been very effective against a very, naturally a Chief defense that is incensed to do well today.
Reminder that Keith Bishop, the Pro Bowl guard for the Broncos, is not here, not in uniform. He's in the hospital back in Denver with an illness. Of course, the alma mater of his head coach, Marty Schottenheimer. It'll be close to a first down. They'll measure.
Well, this is putting all the pressure on the Chiefs. They've got a home field advantage in Coca-Cola's
at Legion Field there. That city. He's had a busy social 24 hours with his old buddy Derek Thomas of University of Alabama, the star linebacker against whom he is running today. And there is Thomas. Comes off in this situation as they bring in a little more beef on 3rd and short.
Both of these guys have made a real impact for their own individual teams. Thomas, a great performer. Humphrey, instinctive, quick, explosive.
Humphrey has the first down. Behind some solid blocking.
Really explosive running that time. Right in behind that blocking, but he just had that great forward momentum.
Wydell, Lanier, and Kay all blocking. There's Schottenheimer and Kurt Schottenheimer in the white visor, the brother of Marty. There's Marty kneeling in front of him. Part of the controversy in Cleveland last year, as rumors had it that Art Modell wanted a change there that would have involved brother Kurt. And Marty said no, and I'm out of here. And Paul Peters in Kansas City said, we've got ourselves a fine new coach. Jeff Alexander inside to the 3-yard line brings up 2nd and goal for Denver. Well, that kickoff 68 yards by Darren Carrington, part of the problem for Kansas City, last in the league in defending kickoffs, and it'll be even worse now. 24.8 coming in.
Well, the difference, Dick, is the younger players. Kansas City is not a complete team yet. They have a number of players that at some point will be replaced, and at this point can't play very good special teams.
Only Humphrey in the backfield. 2nd and goal. It's Humphrey right to the goal line and twisting just short of that final stripe. It'll be 3rd and inches.
Humphrey is exploding into that line of scrimmage. If you see his pads, they're down right at the level of the lineman, so he has great momentum hitting into that line. And just his presence has really changed the attitude of the defensive or the offensive line of Denver. Their entire attitude, because they feel they can get something done now with that great runner.
Good second effort by Humphrey to get that added yard. Alexander and Humphrey start in the eye, 3rd and inches.
Most likely right up over the top.
Humphrey's idol was Marcus Allen, who did that so very well and continues to, and that's the call. He doesn't make it. Albert Lewis, 29, helping out as he dives into the pile.
It looked as though the snap was wrong. The snap came up late. Consequently, the Chief defense got a big advantage. See, the snap's a little late. Consequently, the Chief defense is moving before the Denver offense.
Boy, the defensive men of Kansas City, Albert Lewis, one of them, just diving to make the midair collision and force Denver to settle for a field goal try by David Treadwell, 18 yards. And the Broncos get 3, but in a sense, Kansas City's defense with a moral victory as they hold the Broncos at the 1. The 6.
That's a character builder type defense, because to make that stand in that situation was really a step forward for Kansas City.
Copeland hit at the 20, squeezes outside, and gains another 15 to the 35-yard line.
Well, there's an intensity here today that we haven't seen every week. Both of these teams are up and coming.
Kansas City with Big John Old having Pro Bowl success this year. Addicts, veteran Mike Webster, Dave Lutz inside where he's stronger, Rich Baldinger for the injured Irv Eatman. Allure, the new quarterback, Saxon and Hurd will share the duties of the Okoye out of there. Page and Manley and Hayes completing the starting 11. And the first give is to James Saxon. He slashes off the left side and gets 6 yards. Saxon from San Jose State was a 6th-round pick a year ago. And here, when they go to their pass offense, these are the changes made. Todd McNair comes into the backfield, and the added wide receivers are Clarence Weathers and Emil Harry. Second down, a short 5. Saxon again, running left. Behind that big tackle, John Auld, and he has what appears to be a first down. Denver defensively lines up this way today. It's been a Denver team that stayed very healthy this year. Character, Cragen having a solid year. Townsend, the front 3. The linebackers, Brooks, Dennison, outstanding Mecklenburg, and Fletcher, who leads in sacks. And when they go to their pass defense package, these are the changes. There's your front 4. Then Corrington, Haynes, and Robbins, 3 defensive backs. Join the starters Braxton, Henderson, Smith, and the rookie Atwater. First down, Kansas City at their 47, trailing 3-0 early. Fake to Saxon. Pallure sacked in the backfield by Greg Cragen.
Well, everything was there for a big play down the field. There isn't any question about it. They had Manley open on a deep hooking pattern, excellent faking, but Cragen, having a great year, slipped around Webster and made the big play.
Cragen from Utah State, and the Kansas City coaching staff commenting how well he appeared to be playing as they perused the tapes of previous games.
This is the toughest time for Kansas City because Pallure really doesn't have command of this offense. And he didn't pass that well when we watched him in practice. His running's been effective, but this could be a shortcoming.
2nd and 19, and they run. It's to Saxon. And Simon Fletcher, staying at home, trips him up at the 42-yard line after just a 3-4 yard gain.
Well, thus far, Saxon has run just as effectively as Okoye has been running because he's knifing through the line of scrimmage and getting his pads down low. So it could be that the offensive line's been the difference more than Okoye over this early part of the season.
Saxon comes out, 215-pounder, only 5'11", and Todd McNair, used on 3rd down pass situations. Number 48 is in. He's a rookie from Temple. He's next to Pallure out of the shotgun. There's McNair. 3rd and 16. Boy, Webster gets that ball back, doesn't he? Ballore trying to scramble is wrapped up. Carl Mecklenburg credited with that sack, and so on that series, 2 sacks logged by Denver.
Atwater is really being asked to play right in the middle of that defense and watch for Ballore to run, because Ballore's chief weapon this week will be him running with the ball, because he still doesn't have command of that offense. As long as Denver's alert to it, like Mecklenburg was in that case, it's going to be tough for Ballore to do it.
Kelly Goodburn handling a high snap and just does get the kick away. Here comes to Chris Woods, the new Bronco kick returner, and he is back to the 44-yard line. Ken Bell released during the week by Denver. Chris Woods, who was on the waiver wire, had played last with the Raiders, signed by Denver. They lead 3-0 early. Oh, and he let the press know that he felt they were getting much too personal and had crossed the line, cleared the air, doesn't feel suffocated anymore. Came out and played well against Pittsburgh in the 34-7 win at Mile High last Sunday. Steve Sewell at the 50-yard line. Albert Lewis on the coverage.
Sewell makes a play every time he's thrown the ball or given the ball. To me, every time he's in that lineup, you almost have to concentrate on him, because he's the key to whatever happens.
Really an all-purpose player, can run it, can catch it, could even throw it. He's their emergency quarterback. He's not unlike Dan Reeves in the way he played for the Cowboys. Both were number 30. Elway getting good yardage on 1st down. Delay to Humphrey. Swinging outside for the 1st down and more to the 35-yard line. J.C. Pearson and Deron Cherry made the tackle after a 15-yard gain.
Humphreys has that quickness to take an inside play and make it bounce outside. In this case, there was going to be a pulling guard and tackle inside. When Humphrey starts in and then bends all the way outside of everyone, and you'll see with that speed, he can make it all happen. He starts in, is plugged up, jumps outside. Now watch the sprint speed. Straight up the field. And again, he's a north-south runner with that great body lean.
Scouting report says he doesn't go to the sideline often. He wants to go straight downfield. Veteran Sammy Winder gets a call, picks up a yard or 2.
Well, you know, the John Elway thing, Dick, having been through some of that, over a period of time, in his case 7 years, as the #1 personality in Colorado, he's naturally going to be scrutinized by the press. The team's successful, consequently more people following the team, and before long, in need of a story, people start talking about his private life. And in talking with John, he said they finally went just over the line. They went over the line, and I had to do something, because each day it was getting worse. They talked about him having a couple of beers and playing shuffleboard, things of that nature, and he wants to have an image with the public. It was really unfair, I think, but the press has really accounted for that lately.
Elway off a play-action fake. This is where he's dangerous. And he finds the open man, Mark Jackson, who can't hang on. Albert Lewis there for Kansas City, a ball that should have been caught.
That was classic Elway, getting up outside, and as long as there's we've got a drop pass down there, but as long as there's any time for Elway, he can move and avoid one person or another, one at a time. He has a great knack for that. He had it in high school, and it's been developed ever since.
So 3rd and 9. Shotgun with Sewell.
Now, Kansas City has done a lot of blitzing in this defense. They're probably faking it this time.
Nope. Derek Thomas is the first to get there. The rookie from Alabama, who now has 8.5 sacks. Boy, is he lightning quick.
He jumps way up inside, and that quickness, he's the one guy on that defense that can catch Elway man for man, mirror whatever he does, and make the stop.
So in comes Mike Horan, one of the league's top punters. And boy, yesterday and practice today, I've never seen a man kick it any higher, any better. Every kick a perfect spiral. Let's see if it carries over into the game. Nope. But he's just trying to punch one short, and it lands just inside the 20. It'll be Kansas City's ball at the 18-yard line. And Derek Thomas, what a story he is the day after Veterans Day, and we'll share it with you when we return. For a touchdown by Reggie Rutland gives Minnesota 10-0 lead. Here 3-0 Denver. Kansas City starts from the 18 after the Moran punt. The give is to Saxon, and he runs into traffic. Rick Dennison, 55, was there first from a linebacker spot with plenty of help.
Well, both Dennison and Mecklenburg are ready for those guards to pull in front of them, and they're going to penetrate right up inside as that play develops. Any slow-moving play, he's going to come right up into the hole and make the stop. So it appears that Kansas City's best bet for controlling the ball are those man block plays with their big, young offensive linemen knocking the Denver defensive linemen off the field.
No gain, 2nd and 10. Andre Townsend had a big part of that last tackle. Bloor has a man open. Herman Hurd, first down at the 30-yard line. One of the quietest players in the league, and his last name is Hurd. Mr. Silent, they call him here.
Well, he isolated Hurd outside on the strong safety, and in this case it would have been Atwater, and they just threw a quick hook pattern with Atwater outside covering one-on-one. That's the same thing Denver will do with Sewell. Flank him out, force the strong safety to come over there and cover him, and then throw in front of him.
Hurd, who grew up in the Denver area.
The shaky part of this offense for Kansas City will be Pallure knowing where to throw the ball.
Saxon up the middle. That was the Okoye play where he'd carry tacklers another 4 or 5 yards after the hit. And that's what is most impressive about the big 260-pound Okoye, who probably won't play today. But Saxon gets good yardage to the 34.
Well, Saxon right now is playing just as effectively as Okoye would. But later in the game, that big size and power would probably begin to show up with Okoye carrying the ball. But if Saxon has the stamina to go with it, they may not miss that much in Okoye as long as his offensive line can block one-on-one.
He started 4 games last year when Okoye was injured. He gets the call again. Try to slip outside. Oh, what a good play.
Excellent. Excellent blocking. Dennis Smith come up and make a play from that safety spot.
Dennis Smith from Southern California, number 49.
You're going to see excellent blocking along the front line with Saxon just bending to the outside. And you can see the people reaching out to the outside. Now this is where his running ability can make a difference. That time he was basically going to be hit, and he avoided. But look at Dennis Smith come up from the outside. What a great year he's had.
Dennison held him up, and Smith made sure he didn't fall forward. 3rd and 3. Pallure up the middle, complete. Stephon Page to the 40-yard line of Denver. Make it the 39. First down, Kansas City.
Well, I was about to say this may not be the best tactic for Kansas City. They should maybe be running on 3rd and 3, but it was well executed. Stephon Page, what a smooth athlete.
Played with Henry Ellard at Fresno State.
Pallure shows some poise here because there's a big push coming from Mecklenburg right there. He just touches that ball out, and Page running at full speed catches it on the run. Pallure showed some real poise this time. Watch number 77. He's got his eye downfield. There's a shot. Oh, to play that position, Dick, I don't know.
Used to be the soft position quarterback. Fake to Saxon. Wide open is number 89, Pete Manley, but the pass too tall.
Dennis Smith figured that out in a hurry.
And a flag is down.
You know, Elway was hurting. A number of these people weren't playing, and now they're not only playing, but playing beautifully.
Saxon. Stop shy of the 35-yard line.
Howard Mudd's done an excellent job with this offensive line of Kansas City because they've taken a drop step as they block, that allows them to see where the defense is headed or slanting. Then they pick up on their blocks.
More as a player, and here he is. Great player. 9 times a Pro Bowler, 37 years young, leads the team out of the huddle. He leads them in just about everything. He's certainly a hustling veteran of 16 years. 3rd and 8. To the sidelines and complete to Manley. First down.
That was well executed. Pallure is ready to play. I'm somewhat surprised because he didn't look very sharp in practice. But this is a beautifully timed square out pattern with good pass protection. You see Mecklenburg stunning up inside. Pallure times the ball, perfectly thrown ball to the outside.
And Mike Webster, meanwhile, in the middle of that line, watch 53.
Now he's going to pick up the line stunt with Mecklenburg coming up inside and getting that shot.
Well, they said about Webster, back in the summer training, one of the coaches said, hey, go down the end of the field just in general to ball boy or whatever and get some of the pads. Webster ran down and got him himself. And so all of a sudden a couple of the rookie linemen kind of trailed after, and they learned in a hurry that if the veteran, an all-pro, can run around and hustle and be the first at everything, first at the sunrise lifting exercises, the training camp, first out of the huddle, first to volunteer, that maybe that's not a bad thing to do yourself.
Well, this blocking scheme's great for him.
Look at this effort by Hurd as he powers up the middle, gets 5 out of what appeared to be only 1 or 2.
In the past, Webster's been asked when he was with the Steelers to man block. In other words, he is responsible for that man in front of him.
With this first quarter, not enough for a first down as Hurd gets inside the Denver 15-yard line. The time now is being kept on the field. Carricker and Dennison in on that last tackle.
Again, they're running toward John Alt, one of the great young offensive linemen in the game today.
45-year-old Dan Reeves in his 9th year. And he said, boy, it's been a tough year. He said, I don't know. He said, I could probably last at my age and go 20 years in the business. He said, I'd be 100 years old if I did that. He said it's been a real tough season for him. Changing in coaches.
That was a big part of it.
Letting key players go in this whole rebuilding of the team. And you heard the gun the end of the first quarter here at Arrowhead Stadium in beautiful Kansas City, Missouri. It's the Broncos. 3-0. Had a helmet.
That's
looked
been
at
thought
that.
of. It looks like a freeway sign up here or something.
Yeah, we were lost going to Topeka right there 2 nights ago, in fact. Well, the Kansas City Chiefs and the Denver Broncos go into the second quarter. Fortunately, still attired in their traditional colors and logos. 3-0, and the kickoff return to start the game is the difference at this point, as Darren Carrington took it 68 yards to the Kansas City 30 and then stopped at the one. David Treadwell kicked a short 18-yard field goal. Kansas City on a long march that started from their own 18. We open the second quarter, 3rd and 2. Fumble by Pallure, and he saves a possible field goal chance.
Stay out of that shotgun. I just think they can take that ball in 3rd and 3, give it to Saxon. He's going to get the first down for him. They're almost playing into Denver's hands by using this formation. It gives Denver a chance to get those pass rushers in. Ron Holmes getting up the field that time. And Pallure isn't that sharp with this part of the offense. Supreme Court Justice Whizzer White's next-door neighbor, Nick Lowry, comes in to try a 47-yard, perhaps 46. Let's double-check it here. Yard field goal. They kick from just inside the 30. 44-yard attempt, and it's right down the middle, and we have a tie game. Nick Lowry. You know, Dick, I'm not really sure why people go into that shotgun on 3rd.
Carrington and Woods. Chris Woods, the new Bronco. And he is toppled at the 23-yard line. Boy, just as if someone had a wire there and knocked him out. Lloyd Burris, the veteran safety man, in on the tackle.
You'd think that the Denvers would have an edge on special teams. Kansas City rebuilding cannot get a complete roster in 1 year. Consequently, those people that are on those teams often are not quite the athlete that an established team like Denver would have. And I think that's going to be a factor in the second half.
Official yardage on Lowry's field goal 39 to counter Treadwell's 18-yard field goal that got Denver on the board in the first quarter. We're tied at 3, early second quarter. John Elway has a new quarterback coach in the last few weeks. To Bobby Humphrey, his new running back. And Humphrey, good yardage on first down. That was one of the keys to Dan Reeves and Mike Shanahan's approach today. The former head coach of the Los Angeles Raiders, fired by Al Davis and hired back by Dan Reeves, and Patrick Bowlen, the owner of the Broncos, studying the statistics and the tendencies up in the upstairs booth of the Broncos. We asked Shanahan, well, as you look at Elway, he's apparently benefited. Look at the yards passing since Shanahan came back 3 games ago. 294, only 173 prior to that time. Better percentage, more touchdowns.
Well, Dan Reeves is trying to do both jobs, both big jobs.
Wide open tight end Clarence Kay, and a first down at the 39.
Shanahan took over the quarterback coaching. Dan Reeves began to become the quarterback coach when Shanahan initially left. But it just is stretching out Dan Reeves too much. All the organizational factors, organizing practices, organizing an offensive game plan, and then coaching the quarterback, which is full-time, he just wasn't really able to do it. What a stroke it's been for Denver to have Shanahan back.
And Dan saying, I was taking work home. Shanahan, who said, I just couldn't stand not coaching. He said, I don't find it insulting at all that I've gone from head coach to quarterback coach. I'm pleased to be back in the game. He and Elway have such a close relationship. And there's Vance Johnson. May have fumbled the ball. If he did, Kansas City has it. No, they're calling it an incomplete pass, as Albert Lewis put quite a lick on Vance Johnson, the leading receiver for the Broncos this year with 42 catches.
Albert Lewis is a swift, polished athlete. He's their best cover man. Carl Peterson believes he's one of the best coverage men in the league. Look at that arm fly out. Now that's the experience. That part of that's coaching, but it's just the instinct to know when to get that arm in there to break up the pass.
Lewis, whose hobby is riding horses, has a couple of horses with him here in Kansas City, and his teammates say, hey, Albert, you're the thoroughbred. I guess they're going to take a look at it up stakes up in the instant replay booth, and yet the rhythm of the game is dislodged.
The big disappointments, the mistakes made upstairs in the replay booth.
On second down, Humphrey just caught by the ankles. Rob McGovern, the long shot rookie from Holy Cross, made the tackle.
Well, Rob has been alternating as a starter with Ashley, and he has really done a great job. He really has. He has the instincts and some ability, but to come from Holy Cross and play football is amazing at this level in the competition he was in, especially being a linebacker, the physical part of it.
255th pick. In fact, when we saw him this summer, he was wearing 53. Mike Webster had 53. He thought his days were numbered. The pass to Sewell incomplete, but the reason Chris Martin, number 57, was flying in on Elway.
Well, Denver had the right call. They had a fast screen to the outside with a lineman outside in front of the ball carrier. Beautifully called, really, and Elway just has to hit it. He gets the blitz outside. You can see that block, and we'd have had a touchdown.
And Elway knew it.
They've been waiting the entire game. I'm sure practicing that all week. When you see that blitz, if we can get that fast screen called, we're going to get a touchdown. Just missed it.
Naz Worthen, a rookie from North Carolina State, just activated, is deep for Kansas City. Dying spiral, and out of bounds he goes at the 26-yard line. So timeout here at sold-out Arrowhead Stadium. 11 minutes to go in the first half. We can't depend on it. Valor hit. Is there a whistle? Apparently not. That's going to be a touchdown for Greg Cragen. Well, in the first game, Schottenheimer saw Denver score 2 touchdowns on pass interceptions in their 34-20 win in Denver. And here's a freebie for the Broncos. And Cragen, a free agent pick who's playing like an all-pro this year, has a touchdown.
Again, this is Valor not really having the timing of his pattern. Everything's late. and he has to identify things after he sets up, whereas a year from now, or even 3 or 4 weeks from now, he'll have improved that. But again, Cragen gets this ball after his fumble, but Pelluer holds the ball way too long. There's the hit outside. The ball is knocked out because he has to think too much, thinking of who he's going to throw the ball to, and then he wasn't as sensitive to the pass rush.
And Cragen can thank Alfonso Carricker, number 92, a Plan B free agent selected from Green Bay. Carricker was the man who jarred the ball free, and Cragen was there for the bounce and the 17-yard romp for a score. Treadwell adds the extra point. And so the Broncos, much improved defense, strikes here in Kansas City. Those are one thing, but when you talk about that long run for touchdown, something else for Greg Cragen. First game, it was the turnovers. 4 resulted in 24 points for Denver, who went on to a 34-20 win. That was the difference in the game. So Kansas City, Todd McNair, and he's pulled out of bounds shy of the 30-yard line by Randy Robbins. Let's go back to the fumble.
Well, Alfonso Carricker comes inside to make the big play, and meanwhile Cragen comes outside to pick up the fumble. But Baldinger gets beat to his inside here, and it just takes a second. The right guard comes out that time. Lutz comes out to pick up a linebacker, leaving a big hole.
And Dan Reeves, boy, nothing better than getting a touchdown that quickly from the defense. 10-3, the Broncos. Kansas City starts from its 29. James Saxon, they run left again. And successfully, nearly 10. Steve Atwater, number 27, made the tackle. On the scoreboard, the early games today. Buffalo leading 13-0. Jets still 3-0. New Orleans 21-0 against the Patriots. Washington by 3. The Bears with a touchdown. Minnesota 17-3. And the Lions now. Rodney Peete has thrown a touchdown pass to take a 10-0 lead. And James Saxon comes off the field limping.
Do they need him? McNair can play the position and Hurt can, but not the way Saxon can. And this is really all the Chief has going for him right now, is Saxon running behind Alt to the left side.
Herman Hurd has replaced Saxon, who is the workhorse here in the first half, and Hurd is hit by Mecklenburg. On 2nd and 1, Carl Mecklenburg invited into the backfield untouched.
Mecklenburg jumped outside, blitzed from the outside. Actually, it's a pass rush type move, and no one blocked it. The shift late caused it.
The Snow Goose Mecklenburg from the University of Minnesota makes the play.
Mecklenburg jump outside and make a quick move inside. No one to block him. They just didn't identify the defense quickly enough, and there it is. And when Mecklenburg makes contact, it's over.
I guess that telestrator isn't working. We'll try to get that part of the system. This is just not working on our monitor.
My hand's shaking so much.
3rd down and 3. Pelluer down the middle. Open is Page. And a first down at the 41 of Denver.
Well, it's hit or miss for Pelluer and for the Kansas City offense. That time, beautifully executed, well-designed play. And Page, who holds a record for 309 yards in a given game, again uses his experience to beat the zone defense. Well protected. Oh, it did a great job of pass protecting on the left side. Nice throw right up over the top.
24 yards, and now another 24-yard reception for Page. And there's Big John Alt, the 300-pounder from Iowa, number 1 pick. Just one little adjustment in how he blocks, he said, has just taken him to a new level, and everyone agrees. He's on his way to the Pro Bowl the way he's working. Good action by Pelluer out of the backfield. Jonathan Hayes, the tight end, makes the catch at the 31. That'll be close to a first down. They don't use the tight end much in this Kansas City offense.
Hayes is an excellent blocker. Marty Schottenheimer says best blocking tight end I've ever worked with. So that means he's pretty darn good. That time, the bootleg action got him completely wide open because he wasn't accounted for coming across the field in a real shallow pattern. As far as John Alt, he's the best young tackle in the game today. 6'7", 300 pounds, active, smart, good techniques.
I want to be with Alt. He's big enough to keep you warm. Second down and 6, and the give is to McNair, and he has a first down. Todd McNair, probably the quickest start of the backs in the Kansas City corral, and he gets another 4 downs.
Well, again, we had Addix, a good pulling guard, with Alt pulling from the left side, number 62 and 76. Nice courses straight up the field, taking people apart. Again, this offensive line, and I give a lot of credit to Howard Munn, an excellent coach who's been with Marty Schottenheimer through the Cleveland years. They're doing a great job with this young offensive line. What a difference in 1 year and in one coach.
Alt again was a tight end in the Rose Bowl as a sophomore for Iowa.
Screen outside.
And it's Pete Manley, the former Detroit Lion, and a flag goes down as Manley gets to the 24. Almost intercepted. That ball floating out there, intended for Todd McNair, and almost picked off by Wyman Henderson.
Wyman Henderson was a former 49er, played for us during the work stoppage, the strike years, and stayed with the game. He's become a real solid pro. He reads the quarterback drop, and he gets a jump on this ball before the receiver does. Excellent job, and he's come from being a very average journeyman athlete to a real solid, skilled pro, just by persistence.
Cornerbacks for the Broncos, Wyman Henderson and Tyrone Braxton this year. Redecorated that defense. Over the middle, complete to Stephon Page, and then he is drilled. The ball falls out, and they call it now incomplete, that he never had possession.
He went for that ball. That is the toughest pattern for a receiver. So often there's a safety man sitting there watching the ball being thrown, and at the same time feeling Page coming toward it.
Well, that's just why a lot of receivers don't like to come over the middle.
Coming to the inside, and watch the hit. Right now the safety will come right up into it. Now he took his eye off of it. There's the hit. And look at the man taking him is Dennis Smith, who's taken a lot of people out of a game, hopefully just for a few minutes here and there, but he takes people out.
And I think one of the most underrated statistics in football is forced fumbles. You don't look at that column, but those are the hitters, and Smith has 4 this year, and he had dislodged any chance of a catch there. On Stephon Page. NFL Live headlines prior to our game today. Bill Walsh indicating that Okoye would not play today against Denver. Mr. Wiley said that Major Harris is going to be an NFL player next year, and his partner, Mr. Beathard, the Dolphins are for sale. At halftime, Bob Costas and O.J. Simpson with all the scores and highlights, and a chat with Boomer Esiason, who will lead the Bengals against Houston in the Monday night game. Page walking off under his own power. Dennis Smith, a tough defender, and he's got a partner in Steve Atwater. They'll punish you over the middle.
Well, those big safeties, they're both 6'3" in the 200-pound range and got great leverage when they hit. Now you combine, just think of the USC team when Dennis Smith was playing safety and Ronnie Lott was playing safety.
Oh my. He was unconscious, we understand, so Page trying to clear the cobwebs. It is 3rd and long. 18 to go for Purdue and Kansas City. And the Broncos 37.
Well, it looks like a 3-man rush. It is. But you've got Atwater watching Purdue all the way.
Going deep for Emil Harry, and Dennis Smith catches it out of bounds. No interception. And on 4th down, will they try an extremely long field goal? They've got one of the men in the league that has a long leg. Marty Schottenheimer, scrimmage line 37, so you figure 54 yards. That is within Lowry's range, but not this time. Goodburn comes in to punt.
Well, that's good judgment, because if Elway got the ball around the middle of the field, he'd be down there for at least 3 points and easily.
Chris Woods deep at the 10-yard line. If the clock is accurate, it shows 7 minutes and 12 seconds left in this first half. It's tied at 3. Goodburn averaging 42.4. Only to give Goodburn a chance to really kick it all he wants. Fair catch for Woods. That's a drop. And it bounces out of bounds at the 13-yard line. Hope you'll be with us at Go News Best Jokes. Now John Elway. His defense has given him a touchdown lead, 10-3. Bobby Humphrey across the 15. Chris Martin, number 57, the tackler.
Well, both outside linebackers for Kansas City are smallish men. Neither one are big men. They're very quick, active people. And Denver's trying to kick them out and run right up inside of them.
Derek Thomas, who has a sack today. Story, of course, at his age, when his father was 22, Thomas's age, he was a missing in action in Vietnam, a pilot. And Derek has all the details. Has talked with the crew of the B-52 plane that his father was co-piloting that crashed. On 2nd and 7, trouble with a handoff, but Humphrey able to lock onto it, get it out to the 20-yard line where it'll be 3rd down and about 4. And the irony for Thomas, as he told us in such great detail, he was only 5 years old at the time. He has some solid remembrances of his father, and he was extremely proud, as well he should be. He said, here's a black man in the late 60s, #1 in his training school in the Air Force, piloting in Vietnam. And the B-52 that crashed, he says, then I go to Alabama and I get 52 sacks. And the name of the operation in Vietnam was Operation Linebacker. He said, there's just something about my destiny that has me wondering what's going to happen. There's that shovel pass to Sewell, and indeed, when he's in the game, you better lock in on 30. He's going to be important, and gets the 1st down out at the 26-yard line.
You know, Derek and his dad would certainly be proud of each other. The story about his dad, the last moments of that flight, radioing to the rest of the crew to leave the plane, and him trying to keep it in control while they left the plane. What a story. Then, of course, this young man, bright, articulate, enthusiastic, wholesome, the way he plays the game, how intense.
He has gone to the other members of the crew who have survived that crash and gotten all the details about his father. Obviously hungry to know more about the dad that he won't get to know personally. Clarence Kay, the tight end, out to the 34-yard line.
Pass for John Elway to Clarence Kay.
Elway is so tough going to his left. Very few quarterbacks want to go to their left because you have to get their right shoulder back before they throw the ball. We didn't even do it with Joe Montana. Very rarely. 9 out of 10, Joe will go to his right. But Elway's made a habit of going left and getting it done.
Just an update on the injury report. Stephon Page was knocked unconscious. A questionable return. James Saxon, a knee bruise, could return.
They come again.
And Winder caught at the corner. Fine play by Albert Lewis. Lewis is known for his excellent pass coverage and perhaps one of the best man cover guys in the league, and he's been a solid tackler today.
Well, he's a fine all-around player. Again, their best coverage man, but the stops he's making is a real professional.
The other scores. Washington building its lead, and the Bears the same. Detroit going after a win. We'll be seeing the Lions at home in the traditional Thanksgiving Day game here on NBC as they host Conference. 3rd and less than a yard. Winder, he has it easily across the 40-yard line. Neil Smith tripped him up.
The left side of that offensive line for Denver, Perry in particular, did a fine job of controlling the line of scrimmage so that Winder could get his momentum develop and build up so he could hit that line low and hard.
A little push and shove after, as Clarence Kay, 88, I believe, was involved. And number 80, Mark Jackson, out there on J.C. Pearson, 24. Pearson said, I'll give you another push, but hey, that's enough, bro.
That's enough. He does it.
Elway going deep. Well covered. Mark Jackson was his target, and J.C. Pearson had him well covered. Now, it's interesting. You have a strength in a team, and then you draft and you get even more good players, and perhaps it's the excellent veterans that teach the newcomers, but that lineup of Lewis, Burris, Cherry, and Ross, the back four of Kansas City outstanding. Now you get a J.C. Pearson who's playing very well with the injury to Kevin Ross. You've got Kevin Porter for Lloyd Burris at safety, and they really like the way this young man from Auburn has played in his second season.
Well, he had Plan B, Danny Copeland, also. This has been the strength of the team. One thing Kevin Ross, probably the most respected player on the Kansas City team, said, at one time all they would talk about is our secondary. Now they talk about our entire defense, and they really take pride in it.
2nd and 10, the swing in the flat incomplete for Humphrey. Chris Martin was out there just in case.
Coverage by Chris Martin.
So 3rd and 10. There's Kevin Ross.
3rd and 10.
In uniform, he's regarded as one of the toughest guys in the league. You know, he even smiles mean. I mean, when we talked with him yesterday, here's a young guy in South Jersey who was in 4 automobile accidents. He was hit 4 times in his youth. Once had a windshield wiper embedded in his thigh. I said, was that the worst one? He said, oh no, I was in a body cast another time. I was only knocked out 1 time, he said.
Last playing football on the streets as a teenager, I guess. I don't know.
Elway guns and hits his man Sewell. What a play! And Sewell has a first down at the 38-yard line. What a throw by Elway. Sewell barely had time to turn and look, and the coverage was excellent.
Well, Sewell again is so critical for this offense. He can do everything. He's a good blocker, a fine runner, but he can really, this time he's inside and he's going to go up the field and break to the outside with the other people clearing, and he's so quick against man-to-man coverage and has such good concentration, he can just continually make these plays. He's straight up the field, breaks out, and of course the great arm puts the ball right on him. Good catch because he has to reach back for the ball. People wondered why Denver took Sewell, because as a running back at Oklahoma, he just had marginal success. He's got great all-around athletic ability.
Elway guns it incomplete. He threw it behind Sewell, and just as well, his receiver had drawn 3 red jerseys.
You know, Kevin Ross, when he smiles, you're saying to yourself, gee, I hope he likes me. What a tough guy, but what a respected guy. Derek Thomas says Ross plays like every play is the last one he'll ever play. Incredible intensity.
And Kevin told us, he said, I didn't come into this league to try to be mediocre. And he inspires his teammates with, it's not just macho, but it's the fact that he hits at a cornerback position the way you'd expect a linebacker or safety to attack. 2nd and 10. 2.5 minutes remaining in the first half. 10-3. Sewell again. And he gets about 7 before he's dropped at the 32-yard line by veteran Mike Bell.
Well, Denver's taking advantage of Dino Hackett's quick pursuit. Dino pursues quickly, so they're giving the ball on an underneath reverse handoff to the inside, and Hackett's going to run past the ball. That gives Sewell an opening to come right up on the inside. You see Hackett getting turned backwards. Hackett's one of the most intense players on his team, enthusiastic players. On the other hand, he can get moved past the ball too easily.
And there is coach of the Chiefs. They really like him and what he's done here. He's taken a solid line into one of the better lines that they blocked so well for a play. Now 3rd and 4 for Denver. 2 minutes to go in the half. A big play for both sides as the Broncos have a 10-3 lead, and they get the first down, drawing Kansas City offside, and now Elway with a free play. Throws and has a man open. Jackson incomplete.
Elway is expert, bordering on illegal, with his right here as he makes his snap count. There it is, and that's going to pull people off the line. Just any movement like that in a defense that's an attacking defense will get people to move. It's been legislated against, but John Elway takes it right to the limit. He's very skilled at it, and it's made a big difference for Denver.
And he had a sure 7 if he could have hit Jackson, who was 10 yards in the open, but threw too wide. Kansas City's 4th penalty extends this Denver drive. First down at the Chiefs' 27.
Well, Derek Thomas wants so desperately to get a hold of Elway. So the last time they played, he almost got there any number of times, but Elway, with his experience and instincts, would just barely make him miss.
Well, there's Thomas, 58, can't get in. It's going to be intercepted. Dan Suliamura, the big tackle from Arizona State. has his first interception, and it stops the Denver drive. Saliamua, a plan B, free agent selected by Kansas City, and Marty Schottenheimer said he is clearly our best plan B acquisition, and he pays a dividend here today.
Well, he came out of that line of scrimmage as a defensive lineman, and Elway just had no way to see that beginning to occur. You see him drop right into the middle, and he's in a position that Elway didn't expect. Now, the ball naturally was tipped to him, but normally there isn't a man sitting in that spot.
Clarence Kay had his hands on it, and he's upset that Kay didn't bring that one down.
Kansas, there. How you feel, Dan?
Head. Yeah, use your head, he's saying. Perhaps he thought he should have just let that one fly by, that he can only do what happened, deflect it right into the arms of Casey. It's against Kansas City, and he must be ruining the lost opportunity on the offside play where he had Jackson wide open in the end zone and missed him.
Well, Kansas City's always had excellent coverage, people, man-to-man, and I assume that's the reason why always had more interceptions, because otherwise you just can't figure it.
Saliamua's interception takes it to the 32nd. Now Pelor gets away from Fletcher and ducks out of bounds. And Fletcher dropped on a good block from Todd McNair. Let's go back to the interception, and Reeves apparently thought that Kay should have just left. 10-3 Kansas City trails. Underneath to McNair. Good speed, this rookie from Temple. And a first down at the 42 of Denver. They're not. Protection to the sidelines, and McNair. Atwater gets him out of bounds at the 31-yard line. Another first down.
Well, you have Atwater hooked up on McNair coming out of the backfield. If they're going to be in a zone defense, Atwater's going to play for Pelor to run. But in this case, they almost pick him off from the outside, and then he has to cover to the inside. Now, you see Atwater.
Getters early on for rookie defensive back of the year.
Good protection.
Wobbly pass and incomplete. Pete Manley unable to get to it.
And has some grasp of what they're doing, but this is where real experience makes a difference.
Second down and 10. 3 timeouts left and a minute to go for Kansas City to try to tie this game.
Atwater's waiting for Pelor.
Underneath it goes. And complete to Naz Wortham, his 5th catch of the year and his first today. Just activated. Carlos Carson was waived by Kansas City earlier in the week. Veteran wide receiver picked by the Eagles, and Naz Wortham, the 3rd-round pick from NC State, gives them number 18. Pelor underneath the Manley. A flag is down as Manley is stopped at the 14-yard line. Staubach, Bart Starr. Said his agent advisor to sign with Atlanta. He said this didn't feel right to him. They're all really quick, pulling back in another 5 yards.
Well, my point, Dick, on can't afford a sack.
Alt again. And that's with a new quarterback, perhaps Alt and some of the line.
A simple thing like cadence takes time to coordinate.
So from the 18 back to the 38 on 20 yards of penalties, 3 successive penalties. Pelor getting away from Fletcher and hit hard as he gets to the 31-yard line, and a timeout called by Kansas City. No, I saw them signal timeout, and it kept running, and out. But next one say, be man, so you don't cry, because he really can get that kind of emotion welled up in a hurry. Very sensitive. Boy, that could have been called on Alt. Pelor takes a whack at the 24-yard line. Marquette, it'll be a 41-yard attempt. 41 yards by Lowry. Unless this is a fake. He drills it through.
Good job. Good job.
So Lowry has all of Kansas City's points in this first half from 39 and now from 42 yards. It started with a 68-yard return by Carrington. This one picked up neatly as Melvin Bratton, the former Miami star, gets it to the 33-yard line. Stan Petrie makes the tackle, and a flag goes down.
Within range now with his big arm to get that ball in the end zone, and a tip pass could be a touchdown. Coming outside, it's a design play.
And he throws too low. Ricky Natillo just sit it out, and that is the end of the first half. Dan Reeves' defense much maligned even through his Super Bowl years, and so vastly improved here in 1989. The difference in the first 30 minutes. And Kansas City, without Christian Okoye, his bruised thigh has not healed well enough, and we've not seen the NFL's top rusher in the first 30 minutes, but the Chiefs themselves playing tough defense. It heads toward Todd McNair at the 7. And McNair dropped at the 24-yard line.
Excellent tactics by Denver in that kickoff. They kept that ball right along that right sideline as they kicked and cornered their man there, and there was nowhere for McNair to go. He couldn't come across the field. It was too far to go. So they've really kept Kansas City corralled down in that corner on every one of these kickoffs.
So the Chiefs with Steve Pallure at quarterback go after that 4-point Denver lead. James Saxon back in the game, number 21, as is Herman Hurd, both shaken up in the first half. And it's Hurd driving off his own left guard to the 28-yard line. There's Steve DeBerg, the veteran quarterback. Now he has the signal relaying responsibility. You see in his arm, he has information taped, and Pallure also looks at his arm where he has formations taped.
So they most likely, Dick, have a number 7 for each man, and they can just signaling that number. Joe Pendry, the coordinator, is calling those offensive plays.
Second down and 5. Hurd again. Trying to get outside and cannot at the 29-yard line. So Steve DeBerg will go to a tough call. 3rd and 4. Not at all happy that they got Steve Pallure. He'd hoped that he'd be the quarterback and share it with Ron Jaworski. Remember, they said we'll tag team it, the two veterans.
Well, DeBerg has been with a number of clubs already, starting with San Francisco. He's one of the most persistent players. And here are the people he's replaced. Look at those great athletes and great players.
They replaced him.
Oh, they replaced him.
He says, right. You can be assured you're going to get a great player when you let me go. We'll take another look at that list after this play. 3rd down and a long 4. Pallure from the shotgun. Got some running room and has a first down and more. Clever in the open field. They finally touch him down at the 47, 48-yard line. 14 yards.
Dennis Smith was sitting there in that lurk position. You'll see Dennis 49, Smith waiting back there for Pallure, but Pallure, look at this big hole in the middle, but Dennis Smith is going to make his big hit right there, and Pallure outmaneuvers him.
And as they spotted out the 47-yard line, make it a 19-yard scramble.
Well, DeBerg's big problem, when speaking of Steve, is the difference between himself and Pallure. All those people we saw mentioned have mobility and can move, and Steve is not the quickest footed man. Very accurate passer, not that quick.
Saxon protecting the ball, and well, he should, because he had no chance to get anywhere as Greg Bregan was right in the hole. Let's go back to the list of men that when DeBerg was the quarterback, and he's been good cement for a while. Then he left San Francisco when they got Montana. And Denver got their use out of him because Elway came along. And Tampa Bay was Steve Young, then Testaverde, and now Steve Pallure here. He's assured a great quarterback, he said, wherever he goes and then leaves.
Well, with us at San Francisco, we broke the NFL record for completions in a season. So he's had his moments of glory and success.
And down Saxon. So he's had 2 runs here since coming back from a first half injury, and does not seem solid on either.
Steve DeBerg is one of those very persistent people that believe in themselves. Somewhat short on certain phases of athletic ability, but he believes in himself, he's persistent, and he's willing to take any role in order to participate. His big problem has been he'd get flat-footed and throw through defensive linemen, not seeing his receivers, and his interceptions would pile up. But as far as an accurate passer, an intelligent person, outstanding. He wants to be a coach, which may mean there is a flaw somewhere in his makeup.
No one's perfect. On 3rd and 10, Pallure It's McNair. And Todd McNair, an outstanding receiver out of the backfield. First down at the 37.
Well, what appeared to be a big factor going into the game was the pass rush of Denver. But at this point, Pelluer is meeting these people extremely well from the standpoint of feeling that rush, taking his time, and accurately throwing the ball. I didn't think he was going to be able to do this. Of course, it remains to be seen the rest of the game. But at this point, he's handling this thing very, very well.
Good move by McNair on the linebacker, Curtis. First down from the 38. Fake to Saxon. And the throw to Jonathan Hayes. And Tyrone Braxton forces the fumble. And here goes Atwater with Pelluer to beat. And Pelluer rides him down at the 33-yard line. And there are a lot of Denver fans here, and they love it.
Well, it was the wrong play for that defense, or vice versa. Denver is going to rotate their deep people. Pelluer's running the bootleg. We have a man to contain it. And then that corner sitting outside right there, and he never really had the ball.
Braxton forced the fumble, and the rookie from Arkansas, Atwater, picks it up, and Pelluer hanging tenaciously to the jersey, and Wade Phillips, the Bronco defensive coordinator, proud of his defense, and he was already to signal touchdown on that one. So it's 10-6, and the first possession now in the second half for the Broncos, and it's Humphrey to the 30-yard line before Chris Martin can make the tackle.
One thing as a ball carrier you don't want to do is get in a tugging match for the ball. If you feel a defender has got as much of that ball as you do, you work toward him. Don't try to pull the ball away, because either one of you could win. Just push toward him, and then they'll always give you the benefit of the doubt.
So as you feel pressure and someone, a defender has that ball, you just go right with the pressure.
Go right with him. Don't pull it away.
Second down.
Ooh, great shot.
Neil Smith, a #1 pick out of Nebraska, makes the defensive stop.
That was a delayed draw type play, and Smith took an inside charge and just took the play apart.
They feel this man could be a star, Smith, in his second year.
Smith's going to come right up inside here, and he basically is going to be unblocked because he gets inside of the tackle right there.
Well,
so Baldinger wasn't ready for that inside move, and it really made a difference.
That's the kind of move that can force a fumble, but Humphrey alertly held on. It's 3rd and 7. There's that shovel pass to Sewell in the open. And down to the 12-yard line. First down, Denver.
Beautifully executed.
That's a great play out of that shotgun. You let that hard charge come in, and you just flip that shovel pass in front of them.
Well, in this particular case, Kansas City was in just the wrong defense. There was a big hole, so they could double down, pull a guard through the hole, and this man is going to overrun it, working toward Elway. So you see Thomas coming way up, thinking he's got Elway. There's the backside guard pulling and blocking, and Sewell working up the field.
So it wasn't out of the shotgun. From under center, Elway works that shovel pass. That was a favorite play with Reeves running it as a Dallas player for Tom Landry. In the flat, and Derek Thomas can't make the tackle, but slows up Bobby Humphrey. And it's little or no gain. Dino Hackett finally finished the job.
Apparently Denver thinks those kinds of things are going to beat an intense Kansas City defense that's really charging, really playing intense football. We just saw a shovel pass, that time a quick screen to the outside.
A loss of a yard, 2nd and 11 at the Kansas City 13. Clarence Kay and Pat Kelly, a pair of tight ends in now. Elway sends Jackson to the left. Gives to Humphrey on the draw. And Humphrey to the 10, where his buddy from Alabama, Derek Thomas, and Dino Hackett make the tackle.
Well, the intensity of the Kansas City defense is just barely holding its own right now. They're playing with such intensity that they're holding Denver off. And the kinds of plays that'll hurt that intensity are your shovel pass, your screen, trick-type plays that take advantage of somebody fully committing himself.
Well, there's a guy fully committed, linebacker Hackett from Appalachian State. He prides himself in being a Jack Lambert type. I want to be tough. I want to be able to stop that run. Third down and 8. Incomplete. And a flag. Is there a flag down? The pressure on Elway. Cherry was applying the pressure. Treadwell tries the field goal and connects from 27 yards. So the fumble recovery led to a touchdown in the first half, and Atwater has set up a field goal early here in the second. We're now up 13-6. Only one touchdown, that on defense. It comes down to Danny Copeland. And the Chiefs Plan B free agent, one of 17 selected by the Chiefs, takes it out to the 27-yard line. A touchdown lead for the Broncos, and they have scored 10 of their 13 points off turnovers. Now let's go back to the safety blitz of Cherry that
again,
denied
both
Elway.
safeties are up coming in.
Pelor at the controls from the 27. Again, Christian Okoye, who is just 67 yards shy of 1,000 yards, has not played today and apparently will not play. James Saxon in his place across the 35 to the 36-yard line. There's Okoye from Azusa Pacific, who's had 6 100-yard games, had led the league by well over 100 yards coming into this one. The other scores. Miami is pulled within 3.
2nd and 2.
There's apparently no trouble in Pittsburgh. And Detroit still pounding on Green Bay 24-3.
You notice that Washington has come back now as the head of Philadelphia. Joe Gibbs, one of the great coaches in the game today.
2nd and 2.5. And Hurd caught in the backfield by Simon Fletcher, and he stops him for no gain. Here it's 13-6. Let's check elsewhere to NFL Live in the stadium. And this enthusiastic sellout crowd, the 3rd sellout of the year for Kansas City. They're starting to believe in what Schottenheimer's doing. 3rd down and 1 shotgun floor. He gets away from Brooks and is able to slide out to the first down at the 40-yard line. Dennison and Smith there to cover him.
Pelor just uses his instincts and his quickness to avoid this, because he's really going to get somebody just totally unblocked coming straight up the field. It's going to be right here on his right-hand side. This is an unblocked man, and Pelor is going to hold his ground and make the big move on it. But again, you wouldn't want to base an offense on this. Look at this, completely unblocked, and Pelor gets an over-anxious defender to make a commitment, and then he beats him.
And he was one of the leading rushing quarterbacks in the league at Dallas last year, and he's tied with Saxon today. And there's Hurd breaking into the clear and was 1 man away from a touchdown. Tyrone Braxton saved it at the 46 of Denver.
Well, Hurd broke behind the blockers that time. Everybody's been massing up. Everyone's been massing up to make a play, and this time Hurd will break behind. You'll see people pull on this backside, but Hurd will take that ball right through here behind the backside of his blocking. Everybody's moving with it. He comes in behind the whole thing. That's good running instincts.
And a saving tackle by Braxton in the open field. Trailing 13-6, Kansas City and Denver territory. And it appeared Cragen, yes, he did make contact. Now Hurd lined up directly behind him. Emil Harry in motion. Hurd again left side. And gets to the 40-yard line, short a couple of yards of a first down. Greg Cragen sliding from that nose tackle position to get a piece of the action again. And what a game Cragen is having. A touchdown, 6 tackles, a sack, a pass defended.
Well, Marty Heimer says this is the best defensive man they have from the standpoint of all-around sound football. So he's one of the best nose guards in football, but one of the best players on this team.
6'3" and 265 pounds. Greg Cragen. 2nd and a short 2. It's Saxon. A little delay, but it appears that he's able to duck in under the defensive pressure and does have the first down at the 37-yard line. Yes, he does. Time running out in the third quarter of this defensive struggle. Denver leading 13-6. The only touchdown of the game on a fumble recovery by the nose tackle Cragen of the Broncos. You mentioned with Bob Costas on NFL Live that with Okoye, had he played more football, had more experience, you think that he might play with that thigh bruise injury today?
Well, you have to condition your body to accept a certain amount of pain, especially a flesh-type injury. And Christian Okoye has...
First down after the timeout as Brewer straightens things and gives to Saxon up the middle. And James Saxon using his 215 pounds to drive to the 33-yard line. And a gain of 5 on first down. Michael Brooks, the linebacker from LSU, in on the stop.
Everything's happening to Kansas City's left. John Alt, Mark Edick, and Mike Webster primarily are the guys that are taking people off that line of scrimmage. Also, they're going to play Roberts or Hayes and tight into that side and get good results from them. So this is beginning to give a certain personality to this Kansas City team. Just hammering that ball inside.
And using up the clock just as they do with Okoye. The quick pass this time outside to Harry, who takes a pounding after about a 3-yard gain from Wyman Henderson.
That ball was in the air too long.
Yeah, Wyman.
They better practice that one a little longer.
Henderson, had he been playing a little tighter, would have had a shot at an interception.
Yeah, that could have been another big turnover.
Quickie out, and Henderson closing in a hurry. It's 3rd and 1 after a painful 4-yard gain.
Well, I'm glad to see they're in this kind of a set with 2 tight ends going for it.
Pulling that guard and tackle on the left side. Addix and Alt, and driving for a first down goes Saxon inside the 25. Boy, that is a good line, isn't it, Bill?
It is an excellent blocking by Jonathan Hayes at tight end. Excellent blocking. Well, you see Addix and Alt pulling cleanly. Great job by Hayes blocking, and they make that work. I'm sure glad to see that rather than jump right into a 4-receiver thing and try to throw a pass. The personality is to run. Now they've got to take advantage of it.
And they're in no hurry to get off a play in the final seconds of the third quarter. There's some real decleaters, some blocks that are knocking defensive players right on their back. And that is the end of 3 quarters. Dan Reeves' defense, the difference. It's the Broncos 13 of a possible wild card fight. First down as we open the fourth quarter at the 25 of Denver. Here's Saxon. And he's pushed out of bounds after a gain of about 3, and a flag is down. Mecklenburg was the message to 20. And they use a draw play to McNair that doesn't do anything at all. Dennis Smith came up quickly from safety to plug the hole. Other scores, Buffalo galloping now 27-0. Jim Kelly has returned, and they're answering Indianapolis's big win at home against Buffalo. Green Bay has cut the lead, Detroit lead to 24-10. 2nd and 19. Incomplete, intended for Pete Manley. Wyman Henderson on the coverage, and that pass now really drilled in there.
That's tough. Tough to get the timing of that. Pelluer is still holding the ball too long before he automatically throws it. Now, it's important here, Dick, to get part of it back to get 3 more points on that board. 3 points would be obviously very valuable here, so they've got to try to get 3 points on that board somehow.
A field goal try from this spot would be about 52 yards, so Pelluer trying to help out Lowry, moving closer to those uprights. Well, that Webster gets the ball back in a hurry out of that shotgun. Pelluer fighting for his life again. And there goes the field goal. Mecklenburg again.
Mecklenburg, what a football player. He's the prototype football player. From the outside as a defensive end coming up the field. He's got an excellent man blocking him, but he's so persistent. Now watch his speed and his angle coming to the outside. He's going to cut off Pelluer. Now he's back up in there after him. So he took Pelluer's run away, corralled him, then came up after him.
Took his pass away and then took the field goal away. What a play. That's a 3-point tackle by Mecklenburg. Good burn. Trying to improve on that 31.5-yard average. End over end toward the sideline. And a pretty good kick. That bounces at the 6. Now trying to help out the defense. Elway to Humphrey. And the rookie is nailed at the line of scrimmage. Neil Smith, 90. One of the first to get there. Cherry, 6 consecutive Pro Bowls. He came here as a free agent punter out of Rutgers, and there's his father, who has been his inspiration, his fan, his lovely wife, as we look to the left there, third in from the aisle, and her sister, almost looks like a twin sister, Faith, the wife, Diane, the sister standing, is Albert Lewis and Diane apparently are quite serious, and there's Duran Jr. in the lap of the young woman next to Diane. He's well supported, and so are these Chiefs. This town's so hungry for the return of the winner. Humphrey going wide.
Hackett made one tackle, complete tackle. He came down that line of scrimmage and just caught that inside out. And when they talk about the most inspirational players on this team, Cherry's name comes up. Dino Hackett, the intensity that he has as a football player. He's a tough, emotional athlete.
He said he dreamed
across that line of scrimmage, right behind the ball. Here he is, right there, right on the money.
Dreamed of being a pro football player back as long as he can remember. People had asked me when I was a little boy, what are you going to be when you grow up? I want to be a pro football player. Big play, 3rd and 4. Elway will throw for it and throws it away. Boy, did Lloyd Burris and Lewis Cooper, they were ready for the pass in the flat, and Elway, smart enough to recognize it, threw it away.
Well, Elway wanted a screen to try to take advantage of that blitz, and he couldn't get the ball off accurately. We had people coming from the outside here. Elway wanted his screen to develop out here, but he couldn't throw an accurate ball. He just couldn't beat people to the punch. Here they come. He has to throw it away. Had no chance. Beautifully executed defense. This attacking kind of defense is very, very effective. Bill Cowher, the young defensive coordinator, 32 years of age, has done a great job with this defense.
Horan sends one of those beautiful spirals towards Nasworthen, who bobbles the ball. And does he get it back? Yes, he does, at the 28-yard line. Oh, my.
That was a tough one to try to catch. Back over his shoulder, running right into a coverage man from Denver.
But what a punt by Horan from his own goal line, driving it deep 54 yards, then the fumble. And it appeared for a moment that Curtis of Denver would have another recovery. Timeout. It was in East Berlin where they decided to let him through the wall. Pallord finds his receiver coming back, Pete Manley, and a first down at the 41-yard line. Now to NFL Live, Bob Cottle's going home at the end of this season, and Don Shula's club trying to position itself for a run of the play. For 51, the linebacker was right there for the Broncos.
Well, Pallord telegraphed that one all the way. The previous play, he's fine. He throws a nice, accurate ball, but now we're going to be releasing up off the line of scrimmage. And Hayes is going to be running a quick out pattern, but you see the coverage is on both sides of him. The ball was forced inside, and most likely Pallord didn't know who to go to next. With Hayes covered, number 85 Hayes covered, he should have had someone else to go to, but he forced the ball in. These are just the usual growing pains that can't be avoided.
It'll be a second start in Kansas City, 2nd and 15, shotgun Steve Pallord. Whistle, and that's the delay of the game. All the way from the Mile High City here to Kansas City. Into the flat and complete. Nasworthen, and he's out of bounds. Make that Clarence Weathers. Clarence Weathers' first catch of the game. The former Cleveland Brown, and he was with the Indianapolis Colts, played for Schottenheimer in Cleveland.
It's a nifty little receiver.
And he has his tribute to Lou Erber, who is the man who signed him out of Delaware State. His brother Robert was a top draft pick of the New England Patriots, and he came just to work out one day, catch some passes, and Lou Erber said, "Oh, who was this kid. Let's sign him, and did. And his mentor, and Lou Erber, is battling a tough illness in Southern California, and he remembers him as Weathers. McNair unable to handle the pass on 3rd down, and Kansas City, and what was not a well-executed opportunity, that series of downs, will have to punt it away.
A year from now, Plur would hit that pass. He'd hit a number of these. Now, maybe not. And that's the problem with a new quarterback, signing him during the year, trying to make it work, trying to patch it together and still play competitive football. Very, very difficult.
Woods back at the 22. Good burn. Sends out a high twisting kick. Back to the 13. Good coverage. And he is going to be smothered inside the 10.
Well, Kurt Schottenheimer must feel a little bit better with his special teams.
Timeout, 11 minutes to go, and the Broncos lead by a touchdown.
6. The first game my mother and father-in-law had ever seen, and I had to explain that game for hours afterwards. You don't think I was dying.
Elway hands off to Humphrey, who finds a hole and darts out to the 18-yard line. That's a big play for the Broncos as Kansas City trying to tie up the Broncos deep in their own end. But Humphrey comes through, and Kevin Ross, number 31 in the lineup now. He's the man who can force that ball away, made the hit.
Ross is going to force some tempers because he does hit, and he is a mean football player.
Captain Caveman, as he has been tagged by his teammates.
And this is where frustration might set in for Kansas City because they've played so hard and so long. If Denver moves the ball now, it's going to be tough to come back after really a great effort.
2nd and short. Crowd trying to make it tough on Elway, changing his play apparently. Humphrey. No way. Dino Hackett spearheaded the charge. Derek Thomas was there as well. And a flag is down. Offense. 10 minutes to go here in Kansas City. 2nd down. Elway going deep for Jackson, and he can't hang on. Lloyd Burris was the man cutting him down low and jarring the ball free.
Burris had to sprint. He almost didn't get there. It was a rotating secondary. Burris had to get to that corner. Nice throw, but he got there. He used his speed to just make it in time. You'll notice the rotation by the corner coming forward, Albert Lewis. Now there's a big hole behind it, looks wide open, but here comes Burris just in time to make the play.
Good throw by Elway. The Broncos' wide receiving corps has yet to catch a pass. Third and 6 and a big play. Oh my, what a hit by Thomas. No fumble. Derek Thomas with his 2nd sack today.
Well, there's that great athletic ability. As we talked it, you can remember how we talked about just being a natural pass rusher. As a freshman in college, he could do it better than even Cornelius Bennett. And that quickness, you know, he get his pad down low, real low underneath, and his quickness just gets the job done. Gerald Perry, a good tackle, but not with a foot quickness to stay with Gerald Thomas.
So from the 3-yard line, Horan comes in to punt. Lawrence Taylor is Derek Thomas's idol. He says, someday I got that picture of Lawrence Taylor out there in 5, 6, 7 years. I want to be as good as Taylor.
He's an extraordinary athlete, a spectacular player.
Worthen stands at the 50. Horan gets it away. High floating kick.
Should be
Worthen
returned
at the 47. And to the 41-yard line, Kansas City in good field position, and these fans are excited at Arrowhead.
the tackle off. He pushed Perry off.
Flag goes. The 2-year-old Derek Thomas has 2 scintillating sacks today to move himself up into contention for that lead. Now 1st and 20. Valor off play action. finds his man on the sidelines. Herman Hurd at the 30-yard line, and that'll be close to a first down. A man, Herman Hurd, who wanted to play for Dan Reeves and the Broncos, a Denver high school product who went to Southern Colorado and was a third-round pick in '84 by these Chiefs.
Hurd moved outside as a wide receiver, but Denver was in a soft zone and allowed that comeback pattern to develop.
Pete Manley having trouble on the near side, hearing the count. Saxon goes left side, runs out of room. Out of bounds at the 27-yard line.
Saxon's mad at himself because he saw a spot to cut up, and he took the option of going to the sideline and ran out of room. He really had a chance to make something happen there.
Schottenheimer said that this young back from San Jose State reminds him of Ernest Biner, who he was dearly in love with in Cleveland. He used to say, other than Kozar, Biner, the other man I just couldn't trade. Of course, he left, and Cleveland immediately did trade Biner to Washington.
Well, the knock on Saxon coming out of college was his speed, but it certainly looks good today. I don't see any problem with that.
Second down and 5. Saxon to the right side. A rare chance at the right side, and there's not much there for him. Rick Dennison, one of the inside linebackers, along with Carl Mecklenburg, in on the tackle, and the clock continues to run. 8.5 minutes to go in this fourth quarter. Denver leads 13-6.
Mecklenburg is on the top of the screen, moving laterally. Now here's a real veteran player. Everything that had happened, but he would have been there had they not got him down earlier. This is a key play. You'll notice this time 2 tight ends and 2 backs, and the pass have been going to 4 wide receivers.
It goes to Hurd. Going to be close. He's to the 20-yard line. The fans on the far side cheer. They have a better angle. They thought he made it across the 20. Let's see where they spot the ball.
When without Okoye, it'll develop that much more confidence and character in this team.
They need a touchdown to tie. 13-6. The ball batted right back in Pelor's face. And it appeared to be Simon Fletcher who was there.
Each call now is absolutely critical because they need 10 yards in these 3 downs. Now Pelor is looking to his left. You see his head looking toward us, looking right at us. Now he's telegraphing the throw, and there's the block.
And Pete Manley thought he was going to get a big one.
Oh, he started a slant go pattern. He had his man beat. No question about that. Now Wyman Henderson bit on that slant. It would have been a big one.
That's a play they've been setting up all day long, running the slants with both wide receivers. He's isolated out on Henderson again. And he throws to Manley. Spins away. Good move. To the 3.
Henderson's giving a lot of room in front, and he get the quick out right in front of him. This is excellent play calling.
And terrific running by Pete Manley after the catch. Finally, Fletcher denies the touchdown. First and goal at the 4-yard line.
Al Saunders, the former Charger head coach, is now coaching these receivers, and I think you're seeing progress. He's one of the really sharp pass offense coaches in football.
4 yards from a tying score. Going to throw for it. Incomplete, and wisely so. That, had it been complete, would have been a loss as they went to the tight end, Alfredo Roberts.
Denver has a history of playing great defense inside their own 10-yard line. A good part of it would be Mecklenburg. People like that can really go to a ball. And we've got those safety men to make the stops. This is a tough spot for Kansas City, especially wasting a down like that. They'll need that down with a run.
Mark Addix, wearing 61, is now a tight end on the left side. They go with 3 tight ends. And the handoff is to Saxon, who is drilled at the 5-yard line as Michael Brooks came up from a linebacker spot and made a textbook tackle.
Well, you're going to see a big tackle right here, back up inside. Unblocked man is going to go right to the ball.
You should have gotten him there, Bill. His responsibility.
Well, they really can't get a man on him. And they have to hit there before he gets there. Most often you like the center to just maybe get part of him. Now they've gone to the 4 wide receivers, and this is playing right up the alley for Denver because they're great at this, rushing 3 men.
Into the end zone, touchdown, Emil Harry. Combination, Washington's Pallor to Stanford's Harry, and it's 13-12.
Emil Harry has been a clutch receiver. He's bright and smooth, and he knows the game of football. He's learned it through experience. The kind of football he played at Stanford, the pass offense, a good feel for it.
And there's the tying extra point, 192 PATs in a row for Lowry as Harry congratulated on the sidelines. It's a new game at third with 21. That his first TD grab. It's tied at 13. Lowry kicks it off. A good kick. Chris Woods. And it'll be a touchback at the 20. NFL Live, 12:30. Now it's in the hands of Elway and the Broncos. 5:24 to go. All timeouts left for Denver. Humphrey runs into Dino Hackett at the 24-yard line. 2nd down and 6. And, of course, if one man has tormented the coaching life of Marty Schottenheimer, especially while in Cleveland, it was the guy wearing number 7 in white today, John Elway. Remember, 1st and 98 to go in the playoffs. Elway engineered the drive that tied the game when Cleveland was so close to going to the Super Bowl, and then Denver won in overtime. Can he stop Elway today? Second and 6. Humphrey gets 2. Mike Bell, the veteran from Colorado State, Chris Martin, and a pack of bread bring up 3rd and 3.5. Lots of scoring elsewhere. Washington in a defensive struggle trying to beat the Eagles. And Green Bay is pulled within 4 after the Lions led 24-3. And this crowd wants defense. Magic finding the open man, Mark Jackson, and a 1st down. Oh, that Elway. They had him for a sack. He was able to wiggle free with his strength and fire back across field.
He was sacked. There's no question about it. Mike Shanahan indicates, and we agree completely, he turns a sack into a touchdown. Look at this. Everybody's got position on him. Now look at him throw back to his right, going to his left. And he has a sixth sense about finding people at the last instant.
Here's the fullback, Alexander, and is he drilled? Derek Thomas shooting in from his linebacker post to hit the 232-pound fullback and drop him in his tracks.
And Thomas and Moss make a big play. See Thomas coming underneath the block right there, taking on the ball carrier with Moss right back up over the top. Thomas is playing this game like he's played it for 10 years as a pro. He goes underneath the blocker and cuts everything off.
He says, I don't even know my moves. I don't know where I got them. They're just instinctive. And 2nd and 10. Fake to Humphrey. Smith can't drop Elway, who passes it to Kay, and the tight end gets short yardage to the 37. And again, you think Elway doesn't have strong legs. Oh, you just need more than one man to get him on the ground.
Well, that would stop the drive. Neil Smith had Elway dead to rights. Play fake, coming outside. And here's a fine athlete. So Elway sets him up, then moves on him, then throws the ball. But again, Kansas City's got great pursuit and movement to the ball.
Neil Smith, 55 pounds heavier than the quarterback, couldn't get him down.
Well, here's a critical play. All of them are, but this one in particular, there's just enough time for Denver to drive for a score, but this is 3rd down and 9 yards to go.
And we'll have time to think about it, as will the offenses and defenses. 2-minute timeout in Kansas City.
He's in the backfield now with Elway. Kansas City showing blitz.
Elway under pressure. Throws downfield, complete to Jackson. And Jackson in the open field, brought down at the 40-yard line. And again, Elway using his mobility to buy time. He eluded the rush. Mike Bell was in on him, and Gene Barth was the man who was tackled by Bell.
Well, look at the clean, obvious clip behind the line of scrimmage here. Look at this. Right in front of the referee. Right in front of him. In fact, the man was blocked into him.
Illegal use of the hands. They're directly in the back, but in that situation, protecting the passer, they are more liberal.
It was completely from behind, a push, clearly illegal, right in this spot right here. There's the push. Elway's in trouble, gets away with it.
Bobby Humphrey, 1st down at the 41 of Kansas City, and he drives for 3, maybe 4 yards. Walker Lee Ashley, the former Viking, made the tackle.
Elway, 2 great plays, avoiding not only a sack that would basically put the game in overtime, but completing big passes off what would normally be a sack to the human quarterback.
David Treadwell, the place kicker who took Rich Carlos's job, his longest this year is 46 yards. Humphrey hit in the backfield. Chris Martin, another ex-Viking, made the stop. Here's a guy that was available on waivers a year ago. Martin, who has become, in the words of Schottenheimer, you have to get some votes for Pro Bowl. He has been a solid player for me.
He's played beautifully. From the inside out, people are going to sift in between those pulling linemen right there. 2 people, Martin.
52 seconds to go. Timeout.
Somebody late down the field.
3rd and 9. There's that shovel pass to Sewell, and it works again. And it might go really big, all the way to the 8-yard line. Steve Sewell, from the start of this game, whenever he's in the lineup, he's making big plays, and that one was worth 31 yards.
Beautifully called, no question about it. It's a well-conceived play. Sewell will step away from Elway, then come back in front of him.
Bill Moss, the big nose tackle, trailing the play, got him from behind, just inside the 9-yard line, and now you wonder about, well, they're just going to let the clock run down, 6-5, and they'll call time right in here, and they're not going to waste any drama at all. Here comes David Treadwell to try what is not much more than an extra point. Treadwell has kicked a short one that started the game after a long kickoff return with a kickoff to start the game. Treadwell hit on an 18-yarder when Kansas City stacked up the Broncos at the 1-yard line. This one will be a touch longer, 26 yards.
Well, again, Elway making great plays. Spontaneous plays.
You know, so often fans, critics, writers, broadcasters, when they vote for awards, they look at statistics. And when you look at John Elway's numbers, they're not very impressive. But the one number that really is wins and losses. He wins.
His 4th quarter drives, his resourcefulness. He's a superb football player.
Now, Bill, there's another added part of this drama. Keith Bishop, the normal snapper, is not here. He's back in Denver, so Keith Karts will snap the ball. Kubiak to hold. And now, when they've made it the tough yards. Now, here it is for the game. Denver goes 8-2.
Well, you know, Kansas City is frustrated, no question about it. All of these people have come out. But I learned through my experiences, they're making a lot of progress. When you lose like this, you're still making dramatic progress. So Marty Schottenheimer and his organization, they can still feel that they're moving toward winning football.
Not over. 1 second left. They stopped it at 4 seconds instead of 3, and that second allows a kickoff now. And Treadwell, head down. And the skinny guy says, this is what I dreamed about. And Reeves coolly watches Treadwell punch it through. But Steve Sewell and John Elway and company are the ones who made it happen.
Dan Reeves is in the process of changing the team personnel-wise, even changing the style defensively, and still winning. It takes organization, it takes talent, but there's the insights that this man has that puts him above and beyond virtually every other person in the coaching profession.
Patrick Boland, his team going through incredible change offensively and defensively. A lot of rookies, a lot of the AFC. Now the kickoff, and they're not going to kick it high here, you wouldn't think.
It'll take much.
As soon as it's touched, the 1 second will tick away, and there it is. The Broncos 16, Kansas